And here we go in, I think, round 4 of the loser bracket. And we have the two players. In the bottom left corner, we have playing in royal purple, Creature, maybe. And in the top right, an easier to pronounce name in some lighter blue, not blueberry blue. It's Bias playing as UEF. Both players UEF actually going on this quite small map 5x5 Crimson Feud. And interesting map in both 1v1 and 2v2. I quite like it because it's small, but it's still got some room for movement and relatively much mass in the base. So you do have a supply to do some interesting things, but it doesn't become too turtleish because map control is still quite important with all the mass extractor spread. And you do have some reclaim in the middle and the corners, which makes early expansion and early fights for these important. Both players going Hydro, Bias squeezing in one pigeon. Not really any major difference here. Second air coming up for Creature. Second land for Bias. So two different approaches here for the early game. Will be interesting to see how this will pay off. Let's see who PMs me. And organize a bit. Alright. And really early aggression coming in here from Bias, sending 2 labs, but Creature being aware, sending a tank here, not even an engineer here, so kind of fighting for nothing, dying for nothing, 1 lab, surviving, doesn't want to have any of that, not going in here, my body died, I'm out. Maybe gonna try to pick off an engineer here on the way without the protection of the tank. But I believe the tank is aware of the situation, saw the other lab on the scout and probably gonna hunt it down. So early raid not really paying off, not a major deal, but slight advantage already for Creature. Momentum might be on his side now with his second air. That could be really punishing if he is losing early engineers while going second air, then he will have even less units, but now he didn't really lose anything despite having less units, so let's see how his aggression turns out. Bomber on the way, UEF bomber being microed a bit. I think this bomb gonna kill this engineer here. Expansion denied, so that's not a little achievement here. And so can probably make up this little bit with this reclaim, but that's reclaims that won't be invested into anything else. It has to make up for the loss of this expansion. And at the same time, he got the major share of this reclaim here, only 2 tanks left before the NG died, but definitely worth it. While Bias moving his ACU really early to the side, so he will secure the other share of the reclaim, but considering that Bias had to invest his ACU while Creature only needed an engineer, win here, anti-air coming down, I'm not sure, I think the bomber is lying here, got shot down, didn't see if he's got another kill or not, but I don't see any wreckages, so I think only this engineer got killed. Quite did pay off this bomber, I believe, not a bad choice, but lots of inties being produced now, and I think that's a mistake. He knew Bias has no air, no point making inties here. Rather would have been a better idea to continue pressuring with bombers or even a ghetto gunship. People don't do this anymore, but it's actually really good, and I would love to see more of these. But inties, no, not a thing here, and I'm not really sure what this point defense is about. Probably being really afraid here, but with ACU still in base, not really anything that could potentially threaten this base, so that's really cautious. While the game's slowing down a bit, both people after the first early aggression starting to build up their base, build up their armies before deciding to attack. And looks like the major focus of both players is the top left. For Bias definitely makes sense since he already got the bottom right. And the top left is the only thing that's missing in his collection of map control now. While Creature does need something. Otherwise he will eventually be outmatched in mass income if he lets the situation going for too long. Alright, little pause here. Doesn't really affect us in the replay. Slight unit advantage for Bias here. And considering both are UEF, no faction advantage are going to be have, so superior unit numbers mean a lot. Only things that can change a fight would be micro. But it's hard to micro if you have less tanks. So engagement going in from Bias. He's realizing he is having larger force here, and Creature being aware, retreating his units. No losses really, except 2 little tanks. But he was able to chase his tanks away. But Creature being on the way with his ACU, he will take this expansion eventually. But it's a long time he didn't have this, while Bias could enjoy the mass income from his side all the time, and he could already use the time to get his commander in a more aggressive position. Creature sensing the danger, getting up some point defense and defense. Does Bias have arty in his mix? Doesn't look like. No artillery here. Always a good idea if you start to attack bases, especially with your ACU, to bring arty, because people generally like to build point defense if you threaten their base. It's a natural reaction, and I think these 2 point defenses are smartly placed, well played here. That should be enough to stop Bias, at least for now. While Grisha is still working on the top left, having some ambitious plans here to secure this. Wanting such a nice little base like Bias has. Gonna mirror exactly everything he's building. Probably found some role model here. Seems to work quite well for Bias. He is managing to build up a massive amount of Tech 1 tanks, and he isn't really doing anything else. It's just Tech 1 tanks, more factories. Not even gonna bother to build a lot of power. That might get a little bit close with only those 2 hydros, but at the same time land doesn't cost too much. But there's really too much room for radio overcharges, but if you have an impressive amount of tanks, then who is needing these things? While Creature not really following the same strategy, diversifying it a lot more with building some air, still building intis. Interesting, didn't really switch to bombers completely yet. Despite by just ignoring that completely. That's really what you can do with intis. But most importantly, he went Tech 2 land, and these pillars are absolutely demolishing the Tech 1 forces of Bias, who are streaming into trying to get something done before the amount of Tech 2 is building up, but doesn't look successful. And in the end, it just ended up giving reclaim here. So, major victory for Creature. It didn't look good for him in the beginning, but Bias sat on the wrong horse here with his big Tech 1 spam. And pausing his factories now to react really smartly to the Tech 2, wanting his own Tech 2, doesn't want to end up with strikers against pillars, but gonna be really late here, so a lot of time for Creature to do something, or at least to build up a nice looking army with Tech 2, or maybe to transition properly. It doesn't look like he's doing that. That's sloppy. He could have probably switched his production to Tech 2 completely yet and not produce any strikers anymore as he would want to do. But the fact that he's still producing so many strikers really hurting his momentum a lot. But regardless, the reclaim is still being quite nicely for them. I wonder if we're gonna see any commander upgrade soon. Looks like one is on the way, paused, because Bias realized that he does not really have any energy, and the 2 hydros are not really enough to get this upgrade, so upgrade cancelled. ACU coming back home. So both players' game slowed down a little bit. Both players being on Tech 2 now. Let's see if Bias is transitioning to Tech 2. Doesn't look like he's really doing it either. Doing the same thing, building Tech 2 only from his HQ, leaving the other factories on Tech 1. Got some anti-air now to deal up with occasional bombers. And major engagement going in here now. It looks like a similar amount of numbers, but Creature having the superior tech here. You can see it in the size of the units. This Tech 2 is being almost double as big as the Tech 1. But looks like he's not really pressuring it, whereas retreating, waiting up to build up his own amount of Tech 2 units. And that's a really tense situation, because maybe you can win the game here, but if it's an even-sized army, you're rather likely to just give reclaim, and that might very well do the opposite of what you intend. But nice army formation here. You always want to try to be in a line to have as many units shooting as possible, but that's not a smart retreat. Units splitting up to bypass this mountain, and however the units just getting annihilated here, and most of the units can make it out, but Creature not really able to secure anything here. Lots of reclaim left, and still kinda in control over the middle, but looks like Base is gonna make a pushback now and is starting contest the space in the middle at least. But how much is the middle worse if you are gonna lose the bottom right? But a really smart decision here, as we can see, to retreat the commander earlier. This could have been really dangerous. And still same danger for Creature here at the top left. So interesting situation here, because Creature can't really afford to put too many units to attack the bottom right here, because that would put his ACU in danger.
Hello, Zock.
Hello, I'm casting.
Oh,
I will probably leave TeamSpeak.
Well, I can just move to another channel. Don't get disturbed. We'll talk later.
Like this channel?
Well, it can be your channel right now. I'll just move on.
I'm gonna have my own channel.
Yeah, I can rename it. Just tell me the name and it's yours.
Alright, I will leave the name to you. You know what I like and what not.
Yeah.
Well, I trust in your judgment. Gonna be on stream, so
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it very professional, almost not professional.
Yeah, like alternative channel. Alright, very fortunate in this game, nothing is really happening, so not missing anything while talking to you.
Were I streaming? Is there some tourney or did I miss?
Yeah, is there some tourney that you missed?
Tourney?
Just now?
Yeah.
Just at this moment? Under 1500? It's a perfect, it's the most glorious tourney of this evening.
Saturday again. Yeah.
Right, there is this weekly tourney thingy.
Yeah, well,
someone made.
I just got a bit out of schedule since yesterday. I was trying to aim that under 3500 tourney finals.
Right.
That was going pretty much time then.
Okay, enough. I have to keep on casting.
Yeah, sure. Just remember.
It's my
Whatever.
responsibility.
Just PM me later and
yeah.
continue.
Alright.
Excuse me.
Alright. Nothing happened. Same situation, except bigger numbers. And some beautiful looking shields, and that might actually make the difference here. We can see, you see the difference. We can play a little game, spot the difference between these two armies. They're looking really similar, but there's one major difference. And I kid you not, this difference are the 3 shields. And this can really turn this battle, because the first strike is gonna be immense. Before the first unit's going down from his army, he might have already lost his 25% of his firepower. Even so, there can be other major differences, like a gun ACU or like a really awkward formation where you expose your flank instead of the front. Bias is seeing that mistake, rushing in, but maybe it was just a bait creature doing a beautiful turn and then baiting this army into the SU. I think that's a critical mistake here of Bias. He is gonna lose a large amount of units, and due to this shields, he's not really killing anything. He didn't destroy any units so far, and even without the shields, and the fact that one ACU with gun is in this fight, shooting, overcharging, and just rampaging through this army. Where is Bias ACU? It's just sitting here, no upgrade, just ooh, what am I doing? While Crash's SU, full HP, almost. Just shooting one tank after another, and did not completely wipe out this army, but definitely won this battle. Even the army counts look somewhat similar still. He will secure this reclaim, and that's gonna be major. While Bias did pick up this great invention of mobile shields, but he can't really supply it. He doesn't have enough power, so he's desperately trying to fix his power problems here. Then Krisha could use this mass and the momentum and everything to apply more pressure now to probably take over this, but looks like he is really determined to end it here and now, bring his ACU in front of his army, leading his forces to victory here. Some overcharges could be really nice. Need to be careful to not lead the ACU into death by accident by moving really close into a large army, with having the units wandering around. But not too bad actually, at least baiting Bias here, and just a big advantage of gun UEF ACU with some veterancy. It's just not dying. Like if this would have been Cybran, it would have been a really critical mistake. As UEF, it's just a bait. No mistakes here. Mobile shields coming in. Engineers going on to reclaim. Would be great to see some Sparky here to build some point defense, secure this position, and building a safe retreating point for the ACU. Maybe even tech missile launcher or something, since Bias virtually has nothing except the same thing Krisha has, but much less. And looks like all the mobile shields died as well, so all this nicely built power not gonna do too much. What is this? Energy storage coming up, but without gun, without veterancy, much more dangerous to use this ACU, even so it's also UAF. So Mongoose in this army mix, not even bad, can harass a little bit, doing some damage from the distance. More bombers coming in. Did he switch to bomb? Not sure if that's just the accidentally built bomber that's still in his unit queue, or if he switched to complete bombers already. Might just want to build a little bit more interceptors just for security. Fighting still going on, not stopping. Sure, Bias claiming to lose from legs, and maybe you shouldn't be Australian, my dear friend. But this is not looking good for him indeed. Treasure realizing he just has a massive amount of army left over after all the small battles and engagements. He won every battle, but was able to keep units alive, but after every battle the advantage from Treasure increases, and this is the aftermath of it. After a while you just don't have enough units anymore to stop this amount. So Bias gonna go down here, and Crasher gonna advance into, I believe, the last round of the loser bracket. Very smart choice here to bring the gun ACU. That changed the tide of the game in his favor. Bias decided to retreat his ACU instead. Wanted to make an upgrade, couldn't afford it, so had the right idea, but kinda messed it up a little bit, while Krisha executed it very well And without that ACU, the game was dead even. After some early skirmishes, the game really averaged, everyone having the expansion, both same faction, same amount of units, but the ACU is not without reason the most powerful unit of the game and can single-handedly win you the game. Especially with UEF.